Things have gotten serious. We really have to find a way to get in to see Her Majesty.
First things first, we go talk to the head maid Hilda, like we promised. She probably knows a way for us to speak directly to the Queen.
Fine by me.
Aw, man. I kind of have a feeling. Oh, it's Colonel Richard. What do you want? Estelle and Joshua. This is our first opportunity to truly speak face to face, I believe. The last time we saw one another was right after Mayor Dalmore was arrested, wasn't it? I'm honestly surprised that you remember us. I realized that we exchanged a few words, but you made quite an impression on me. My curiosity was piqued, so I did a bit of checking up on you. I was quite surprised that to learn that you were the children of Colonel Cassius.
How'd you find that out?
Please understand, I'm not trying to show off the Intelligence Division's capabilities. I'm greatly indebted to him from our time together in the Army. Indeed, more than words can properly express. Might I persuade you to stay a while and talk? I've been hoping to speak with you two for quite some time now.
Huh?
Pardon me, Colonel, but don't you have a meeting with His Grace? I don't mind being a bit late. Ah, yes. If we're going to talk, why don't we use the lounge inside? I'll mix up a couple of virgin cocktails.
I'll prepare them, sir.
No, that won't be necessary. I want you to go to His Grace and inform him that I'll be delayed.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Pardon me, then.
Now then, shall we retire to the lounge? Please follow me.
Joshua, what should we do?
I don't see where we would have much choice but to follow him. We'll be a little late, but we can still talk. But we can talk to the head maid later. Goody. We're alone with Richard. I met Cassius shortly after I graduated from the military academy. I was assigned to a mobile unit that was under his command, and since that time I found myself in his debt again and again, both personally and professionally.
He did. And, what did you think of him at that time?
To put it simply, he was a hero, and a master swordsman to boot. No matter the scenario, he could find a way to handle any number of battlefronts in every direction. It wasn't just a matter of sheer tactics. He understood and could direct a high-level strategy as well. Quite simply, he was a man without peer.
If I didn't know better, I'd say we were talking about two different people.
So you were with our father during the 100 Days War? Yes, he was my CO. Even now I can still vividly remember the excitement that filled me as we executed his plan that turned the war's tide. Anytime I get to talk about those days, time just runs away with me. But this much I can tell you. If Cassius Bright had not been part of the Royal Army, Liberal would now be part of the Erebonian Empire.
No way! That's kinda hard to believe.
Well, as a hero, he had a knack for doing unbelievable things. He left the army immediately after the war, declining even a medal from the Queen, so few know of his achievements. But inside the army, many soldiers still hold him up as the prime example of what a hero should be.
He never said one word about any of this to me.
Well, it's not really the kind of thing you tell your daughter about. It's not fair to criticize him for that.
Hey, whose side are you on? And besides, why doesn't any of this shock you like it shocks me? Did you already know about all of this or something?
Well, I didn't know that he was Colonel Richard's superior officer. The rest I knew about vaguely.
Vaguely? You're an accomplice?
Hey, calm down. It's not like he told me any of it. I just figured a lot of it out. He told me he didn't feel it was something worth going out of his way to tell others about.
I just don't get it. When he comes back, he is so in trouble.
Please excuse us. We didn't mean to interrupt. No. Seeing you like this is actually a bit of a relief. When I found out that your father was intending to leave the military, I desperately tried to stop him. But it seems that by leaving, he did what was best for himself after all. After losing his dear wife, maybe being with you was all that could help him recover.
Colonel Richard!
Now then, I thank you for taking the time to come here. I really can't keep the Duke waiting, so I'm afraid you'll have to excuse me.
Oh, all right.
Our apologies for making you so late. Not at all. You both have told me the one thing I wanted most to know, and thus I have no regrets.
Huh?
How's that again? I'm sure we'll have a chance to speak again soon. Cassius might even be with us then to share in the stories. Plotting.
Okay, who was that man and what has he done with Colonel Richard?
What are you babbling about now?
It's just that it's weird to hear him talk about Dad that way. I wasn't expecting him to be, well, nice.
True, he doesn't seem all that villainous anyway. Even so, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that he's got something up his sleeve. For now, we should probably put the issue of Dad aside.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I hate to say it, but I think that he might have been playing nice just because he could get something out of it. He's an intelligence officer, so he probably thinks that fooling a couple of kids is as easy as could be.
Don't you think that's going a little too far?
You might be right. Let me be the one who's mistrustful of others. You should just follow your instincts and believe whatever you think is right.
Huh?
But just make sure you're prepared for anything. Don't let your guard down. I'd say a bracer's job is pretty much that, in fact.
Okay, I got it. I'll keep that in mind.
Thank you, Estelle.
Thank you? What the heck are you thanking me for? Anyway, we need to go back and see Hilda. She's probably sick of waiting for us.
Yeah, she should be in the maid quarters.
I don't want to deal with that conversation again.
If something happens and I have to stop, I ain't going through that again.
Let's go see Hilda.
Boop.
Ah, there you are. I've been waiting for you. You're awfully late, aren't you? Sorry about that. We kind of got caught by Colonel Richard. Did you now?
He had some things to tell us about our dad. I don't think he has any idea of what we're up to, though.
I see. Ah, yes, that letter of introduction did mention that you were Mr. Cassius's children. I can understand at least some of how Colonel Richard feels. Oh, do you know our dad too? He used to come here when he worked as General Morgan's aide-de-camp. I'm told that he was a school friend of the late Prince's, Her Majesty's son. Late Prince?
Princess Claudius's father.
Yes, he was killed 15 years ago in a tragic shipwreck. Would that he were still alive today, none of this would be happening. Huh? But lamenting what might have been is a fool's errand. Evening is fast approaching. We must make our preparations at once. Come on in, Cher. Oh, hey, aren't you...
Cher, right?
Yes, thank you for remembering. You look well, Estelle, Joshua. I've been told you of your current predicament. You won't find a more dependable child. She's a great help to us whenever the princess is in the castle. Princess Claudia.
That shouldn't pose a problem.
Thank you. If you're ready, you should go change into your uniforms. The ribbons and the headpiece are tricky, so I'll adjust them for you. What?
What do you mean?
Estelle is going to need a dress as one of the maids in order to get into the royal keep. A little playing with the hair and you'll blend right in. Oh, I get it.
Uniforms don't allow for much in the way of personalization. That should be ideal for sneaking in.
Huh? Me in a maid's uniform? I've been wanting to try one on since we first met Lila. Cute, breezy, and easy to move in. Well, if our uniforms weren't easy to move in, they'd make the cleaning much more difficult. I thought so. Well, let's get this sucker on me.
Why so excited? I'm glad you're in high spirits, but you need to remember your manners in front of the queen. You won't have me to lean on this time.
Why not? You're changing too, aren't you? Pardon? I mean, he did play the princess during the play at the campus festival. Is there really that much of a difference between the fancy dress and a maid outfit?
That's different. It was a play. I can't appear before Her Majesty in woman's clothes.
Oh, you'll be fine. It's not all at all shameful or anything. Besides, you made such a gorgeous princess.
Not this again. Cut the jokes, will you? Hilda, Shea, help me out here. Say something. Silence is golden. Anyone?
I see. That shouldn't pose a problem. Shea, don't you have that extra hairpiece designed for the princess? Yes, it's never been used though. He has that full dark hair, so it would probably look good on him.
Hey, hold on a second.
Well, it looks like a 3-to-1 vote. Majority rules. This way, please. We can use this as a changing room.
Wait a minute. I don't remember ever agreeing to changing. Alright. If I have to change, I can do it myself. Shea, you're not planning on using makeup too, are you?
Kids these days. Oh my. Ta-da! What do you think? I think it suits her very well. Such a bright, active maid in training, and after only just coming into the castle too. You certainly have me convinced. And with the hair down like that, no one will be any the wiser. Perhaps you'd like to work at Grand Castle for real when this is all settled? Well, we already work as bracers, so, anyway. Come on, Joshua, get out here.
No chance I can talk you out of this?
None at all. You're just, making this take longer.
Fine. You're impossible sometimes. Here comes Maid Joshua. He even sparkles.
Well, it's almost frightening how good that looks. Isn't it awesome? It looks better on him than it does on me, and I'm an actual girl. A bit of makeup can make all the difference in the world.
Please, just say you're done.
Well, I suppose so. I'll show you the way to the royal keep. You need to make certain you watch me and learn how a maid handles herself. Yes, ma'am. We're finally going to meet the queen in person.
Yes, this is a do-or-die moment. We just have to stay focused and get to the royal keep.
It's hard to take you seriously in that outfit.
Well, excuse me. This was your idea. I can't believe you've got the nerve to pick on...
Sorry, don't get all mad. I'll treat you to some ice cream later, okay?
I'm not like you. I'm not obsessed with food.
Hey, I'm not obsessed with food. They get along so well, don't they? We're out of time. Let's go to the royal keep.
Oh, what? We're controlling her? What? Hang on, let me... We're controlling the head maid. She's the most powerful of them all. Which way was it? This way. Boop. Being extra careful. You gotta be. Hilda, what business do you have with Her Majesty at this hour?
I'm bringing some tea and spoons at her request. The current situation means that Her Majesty is denied the right to even go about her daily life as she wishes, after all.
Such harsh words. Who are these maids with you? I don't recognize them.
His Grace ordered me to hire on some additional staff to help. They've only just arrived at the castle today.
Really now? Hey, you're pretty cute.
Thank you.
Huh? Why do I get the feeling we've met before?
Crap! Do you stare so hard at every young lady you see? I do hope you're not thinking any untoward thoughts. I'd rather think that His Grace and the Colonel would disapprove.
Hey, it's not like that. We're the elite of the Royal Army. We wouldn't do that.
All's well, then. Now, will you please allow us to pass?
Pardon us, ladies. Please, go ahead. Is there just not any butlers, like, ever?
Whew, that was intense. Thanks, Hilda. You're a real lifesaver.
Yeah, that was really well done.
I'm just glad I could help. Now then, are you planning to change your clothes before going to see Her Majesty? If you prefer, I can just show you the way now. I think I'm okay as is.
Boys' clothes, now.
Oh, for the love of... Why are you always so self-conscious? What was wrong with what you had on?
It's not an issue of self-consciousness. By the way, Hilda, is this room what I think it is?
Yes, it is Princess Claudia's bedroom. But she rarely sleeps in the castle, so the room is all but unused. Huh, no kidding. I heard that the princess was tending to the queen.
I guess that's just gossip then.
You'd have to ask Her Majesty for the full details. Her room is on the second floor of the royal keep. I'll take you there.
Still controlling the maid. Second floor. Well, this is technically the second floor, but okay. No guards, huh?
I beg your pardon, Your Majesty. I brought the two people I spoke of before. This is Joshua and Estelle. By all means, enter. As you wish. I'll wait for you here. You two go on in. Right.
Pardon us.
Oh.
It's the Queen.
I bid you welcome. My name is Alicia von Osles. I am the 26th monarch of the nation of Liberal. I'm Estelle Bright. I'm a junior bracer of the Bracer Guild.
I'm Joshua Bright of the same affiliation. It is a great honor to meet you, Your Majesty.
Estelle and Joshua, I have truly been looking forward to meeting you both. I regret that I cannot offer you proper hospitality, but I have prepared some tea. Please, have some and relax.
We're having tea with the Queen.
I see. So Professor Russell asked you to bring this information. A pitch-black orbment capable of negating all other orbital energies. And you say that the Colonel has acquired it?
The professor told us that you might have some idea of what he intends to do with it, Your Majesty. Can you tell us anything?
I have but a vague idea, but I did not think the Colonel even knew of it. Perhaps I am worrying about nothing, but even so. Excuse me, but what is this vague idea you have? I suppose there is no harm in telling you. Roughly 10 years ago, a massive orbital reaction was detected beneath Gransel. Professor Russell was the individual who came to investigate.
Did this happen in the vicinity of the sewers?
No, far deeper underground than that, in fact. Professor Russell was under the impression that it might be a relic of the ancients that still functioned. Wow!
So, it was a bona fide artifact then? Most artifacts I know of have lost their function, like the mechanisms on top of the towers. But every now and again you find one that still functions, like Mayor Dalmore's family heirloom.
And something like that is beneath Gransel? So what does that tell us about the gospel?
Maybe it could be used to halt the artifact's functions? Could it do that?
Yes. However, we were unable to establish the nature of the artifact, or indeed why it was buried beneath the city. But it is beyond my imagining how the Colonel could know of its existence. Professor Russell's research on it was kept strictly confidential and off the record.
I see. In any event, it seems likely that trouble is on the way.
Honestly, just as I start to think maybe the Colonel might be a slightly nicer guy than we were giving him credit for. But when someone's trying to stir up some trouble, that's when us bracers come in. We won't let him get away with whatever evil scheme he's trying to pull off. I'd expect no less from Cassius's daughter.
You're acquainted with our father, Your Majesty?
He was a friend of my late son's and a great savior to the nation. Even after he retired from the army, he would sometimes undertake requests for me. Really?
I didn't know that.
I imagine that there are a great many things about him that you do not know, including the precise role he played in the war 10 years ago. I assume you have not been told? Well, nothing super detailed. Perhaps, then, that is the role that I am meant to play. Estelle and Joshua, will you indulge me by listening to an old story? Oh, yes, absolutely.
It is no indulgence, Your Majesty.
"10 years ago in the spring, a tragedy occurred in the southern reaches of the Erebonian Empire. Its cause yet unknown, so that is something I must omit. The Empire used that event as a pretext for their invasion of Liberal. So began the sad times that would become known as the 100 Days' War. Just as the Empire made its declaration of war, a massive military force breached the Haken Gate. Is what seemed to like scant moments. All of Liberal became occupied territories save for Gransel. It is said that the invasion force was 3 times the size of the entire royal army. The reinforcements from Calvard were too late to stop their advance. It was but a matter of time before Gransel too would fall. But 2 months after the outbreak of hostilities, the war changed in a way that none would have imagined. Patrol airships that had just been deployed and were used to recapture Liberal checkpoints, severing the Imperial Army's communications. The Royal Army then set about recapturing the major regions one by one using ships launched from Leisten Fortress, Zeiss, Rouen, Beausset, Roland. With their supply lines severed, the Erebonian forces occupying each region were swiftly crushed. And the one behind this plan for a counteroffensive was none other than one Colonel Cassius Bright. It was your father who was General Morgan's right-hand man at the time, as well as Colonel Richard's superior officer. Afterward, with the intercession of the Bracer Guild and the Septian Church, the war was brought to an end. But it was at this time that Cassius lost what he treasured most in all the world. Lena, your mother, Estelle. That clock tower was destroyed in the Imperial Army's vain attempts to hold back the counteroffensive. What followed, I am sure you know. Cassius was not even able to be by his wife's side in her final moments. No, I had no idea. And he believed that the military operation that he himself had planned effectively caused her death. Blaming himself, he left the military and took up the path of the Bracer. All to stay with the only one he had left, you. And this time, he swore he would be able to protect those he loved. Dad, that idiot. It wasn't his fault that Mom died. How could he even think that? Estelle. Yes, you are correct. Given that all he lost was in service to his country, the responsibility falls upon me. And so, I am sorry, Estelle. I failed to protect your mother. I have wished to apologize to you for a long time. But you don't need to apologize. You've protected the peace of this country ever since the war ended. The peace that Dad and all the other soldiers who defended Liberal in the war fought so hard to protect. And the peace that Mom gave her life for so I could live in it. You have nothing to be sorry for. Estelle, you have a kind heart, and I am grateful. It gladdens my heart to have finally met you in person. Now more than ever. Your Majesty. However, that is why I do not wish you to put yourself in danger. I would like for you to remove yourself from any dealings with this matter. What? But Julia, I mean Lieutenant Schwartz asked us to help you. I thank you. I am grateful for your willingness to do so. But if some tragedy were to befall you in Cassius's absence, I know of no apology that could ever suffice. I ask only that you go back to your home in Roland and wait for your father to return. But... If I may, your Majesty, the peace that Dad restored and that you protect, though it has held firm, now trembles like a leaf in the breeze. Joshua. If the Colonel is able to use the gospel for whatever purpose he intends, and if he succeeds in making the Duke the new King of Liberal, then what will become of that peace? I ask only that you consider that. Your Majesty, right when we became junior bracers, we inherited a whole lot of work from Dad. After the Sky Bandit incident, we got that letter and that package, and we've been running all around creation ever since. It feels to us like our dad's been nudging us in the back this whole time. That's why I want to defend peace, so that everyone we've met and everyone we care about can go on living secure and happy lives. Just like you and just like Mom and Dad. I'm doing this because it's what I believe is right, and I really want to see it through. Estelle. It seems she was right about you. Huh? I, too, am ready. I would like for the two of you to carry my request to the Bracer Guild. Your Majesty.
My liege, we will do whatever you ask.
My request is for the Bracer Guild to rescue those being held captive by the Intelligence Division. Amongst them is my granddaughter, Claudia. Aha! So the princess is being held captive somewhere. Yes. This coup d'etat started when I backed her as the successor to the throne.
In other words, Duke Dunan was out of the running.
Yes. Though he is my nephew, he is possessed by a considerable number of character flaws. In brief, where he is lacking, my granddaughter shines. For the sake of this nation's future, I would have my granddaughter succeed me. Well, I don't actually know her, but I personally lean toward the idea that your judgment could really be trusted here. No matter the era, there will always be those who object strongly to a woman wielding political power. Not to mention the memory of the invasion by a larger power is still relatively fresh. Some of them will perceive a succession of 2 consecutive queens to be a sign of weakness. It is hardly surprising that such a notion has taken root in the minds of some.
Some, including Colonel Richard, I presume.
Quite right. Claudia's pending succession to the throne caught him quite unaware. That, along with his passing of this information to the Duke, is what led to this coup. This was all staged so that Liberal would be a strong military power, with the Colonel ruling from the shadows.
I see. That finally lets us see the whole picture.
So if Liberal became a militarized country, what would happen then?
A great many things. Taxes would be levied to fill the war chest. Orbital weaponry would be developed with the express intent of causing havoc on a massive scale. A wide-ranging policy of conscription would be adopted, and no doubt contracting Jaeger corps would be made legal, which is not the case at present.
Oh no! Indeed, the Colonel has made very adamant requests that I enact such policies. I thought that such proposals were born out of genuine love for his country, but I never agreed that they were the right course of action to take. The Royal Army is not all that protects this land. We have worked hard to maintain treaties with other countries. Defending a nation goes hand in hand with free cultural exchange and trade with all other nations to the benefit of all.
I feel the same way, Your Majesty.
Yeah, makes sense to me. The Colonel, however, finds such notions to be womanly and foolishly idealistic, and so he demanded that I abdicate the throne in exchange for Claudia's safe return. Many people have had family members taken in to ensure that they would not dare to oppose the Colonel. But I am the Queen, and I will not allow all that I love about my country to be destroyed simply because of blood ties. Still, she is my only granddaughter. I cannot simply allow her to die. Your Majesty, please try to relax.
We hear and comply with your request. We will see to it that the princess is rescued and those who have imprisoned her.
Thank you, both of you. With that reassurance, I will do all I can to oppose the Colonel's demands. Have you any other requests, Your Majesty? The gospel still has to be dealt with. I don't think we should just leave you here. I appreciate your sentiment, Estelle, but the present state of affairs is not contingent upon my freedom or imprisonment. The gospel shall continue to weigh heavily on my mind for a great many reasons. For my part, I will attempt to ascertain the Colonel's true intentions with it. Oh, wow! What a totally awesome person. Super nice, but with a seriously strong will. I hope I'm even 1/10 the cool when I get old.
Cool? Did you actually just call the Queen that? Still, she definitely has what it takes to govern a whole country.
Yeah. I really want to stop this coup thingy and help her.
That's definitely outside of Bracer jurisdiction. Well, first things first, we do whatever we can.
Right. But you know, I'm still freaking out about what the Queen told us about Dad. I wonder if she's got any more tidbits she'd be willing to share. Estelle and Joshua, have you finished changing? Oh, yeah. Then we should return to the waiting room at once. It's already after 11 o'clock, actually. It's almost midnight. Whoa, is it really that late?
The Queen spoke with us for a long time. If we stay any longer, it's apt to make the guards suspicious. Leaving. And also saving. Shut your mouths. Are you going home for the day, Miss Hilda?
Yes, I believe so. Just be sure not to do Her Majesty any further discourtesy.
That's not fair. But please relax. We are patriots to the core.
That's good to hear. Now I believe that we shall be on our way. Pardon me. By your leave.
Had to put a voice. By the way, ladies, I don't think we ever got your names. May we ask them?
Let's see. Lena, Shara, Dorothy. Do we know Elena?
My, isn't that a lovely name? It has a pleasant ring to it.
Thank you very much.
How about you, miss?
You may call me Karen.
I'm putting on a voice. You can't stop me. Karen, you say? That's a very pretty name.
You're too kind, sir. I'm rather fond of it myself.
Are you now? Oh, right. We're with the Special Ops. My name is...
I think that's just about enough. I sense an ulterior motive at work.
No, I mean, at least not from us. Please, be safe on your way home.
Why do we have to give names?
Well, I'm sure I'm going to have to remember them, so keep that in mind.
Well, aren't you Mr. Popularity? It was like their eyes all changed when you told them your name.
Hey, it was not. I didn't see you shying away from joining in the conversation.
Sure, but that doesn't mean I wasn't nervous. I kind of lost all my confidence there.
Huh? What's all the noise about? Oh, God, it's the Duke.
Oh, Duke Dunan.
Ah, lady of the court. Hey, you maids. You don't look familiar.
These are two of the new hires whom I'm instructing. This is Lena and that's Karen. They're still quite inexperienced, so I'm giving them some extra training time. Did he recognize us?
Not good. Given how many times we've run into him, it'd be bizarre if he didn't recognize us. Come on now, Philip. Enough with the staring. It's quite unusual to see coming from you, still upper lip and all. Please, pardon my rudeness. You look much like my niece. My eyes were playing tricks on me, it seems. I'm dreadfully sorry for the discourtesy.
Oh, it's no bother. Please, don't concern yourself.
You know, now that I stop and look, I must say that you're both quite lovely. You with the brown hair, you have a very healthy, clean look to you. As for you, I personally think you look best with the raven hair of yours even longer.
I'm honored.
Ah, yes. Lena, was it not? You shall attend to me this evening. Your Grace?
I don't want to serve him tea.
I don't think tea is what he wants served.
Your Grace, your flirtations while flattering are best saved for another time and place. All of the maids in the castle work directly in service to Her Majesty Queen Alicia. I trust you have not forgotten.
I know, some folks simply can't appreciate a joke. The castle will be mine in a week's time anyway. We can set aside time for some fun then. Your Grace, please, no more of this. I do not mind when you drink to excess, but you know how your libido gets in such instances. I say this knowing full well that I may be reprimanded But I said I was joking! Enough, I'm going to bed. As you wish, Your Grace. Your room is right over there. Oh, right, Lena. You just let me know if you have any problems, anything at all. I'll give you the best advice the future king can give.
Thank you very much.
Aren't you cute? Yes, good. Well, at least he flirted. I'm just going to say, at least he kind of flirted with Estelle instead of Joshua. I apologize unreservedly for all the fuss. His Grace will likely remember nothing of this come the morning. Please, set your minds at ease. I should certainly hope so. I am truly sorry. Madam and young, Mrs., I beg your pardon, but I must take my leave. He totally knows.
I feel so badly for him. He truly seems to bear the weight of the world on his shoulders. Oh, do you know Mr. Philip personally? Yes, ever since we were children. Though not nearly as well as we once did, thanks to the one he serves.
I see.
He sure seems like he's nervous all the time, doesn't he? I'll bet that everything between the Duke and the Colonel has him completely on edge.
Probably, yeah. By the way, what was that you were saying earlier about me being the popular one? The Duke certainly seemed awfully fond of you.
Please, I'd like to keep my food in my stomach, thank you. Alright, back to before. I feel like I'm missing something. Why would the Duke want tea so late?
Well, you see...
Estelle, allow me to educate you the matter of tea and why gentlemen should never request it in polite company. Huh? Come closer.
Hilda whispered something into Estelle's ear.
Now do you understand? Yes.
Hopeless? Completely hopeless.
Thanks for everything, both of you.
If not for you, I don't know what we'd have done.
Please, it was the least we could do in Her Majesty's service. I only ask that you complete the request she made of you. I feel the same way. I beg of you, do everything in your power to save the princess. Oh, are you one of the royal's, retainers? Yes, I regret that I barely get the chance to serve her directly. She's so kind and open. She's always treated me more like a friend than a servant. The thought of her being held captive keeps me up at night. I understand. Well, you can rest easy now. That we're on the job. We'll save her.
Shall we be going?